Okay guys, if you are watching this video because you want to learn what it's like to date in Washington DC, well, keep watching the video because I'm going to show you guys exactly how to do that. Okay, so you guys want to start dating in Washington DC, huh? Well, I wouldn't recommend it, but if you must because you're out there being lonely and you want to find somebody, then here's a few tips to help you get through the situation because it's going to be crazy. First of all, my name is Ken Corey and I live and work in DC. I've been doing a little bit of dating out here and I've been just understanding what the city is about. So I'm gonna give you guys a few tips and some things to expect while dating out here. And of course, they're gonna come from a guy's perspective because I am a guy. Here they are. One thing about once you start dating is you're gonna have to get used to people asking you for what it is that you do for a living. And to be honest with you, it's weird because it's almost like people are trying to size each other up to decide like who you are or what you do on like the social ladder in order to be able to date you or know how they're going to date you or what to expect from you actually. Now, I'll be honest with you, this can get really annoying because, you know, when you're trying to get to know someone, I think, yeah, I know it's important to know it, you know, that the other person is like financially stable, but I don't think that should be like just the number one thing on your list. But out here in Washington, D.C., what you do for a living, what you're involved in, sometimes even politically can be like the top of a lot of people's lists. Like 80% of the people that you meet might want to know exactly what you do for a living. One thing I forgot to say is like, I know I jumped straight to like the dating part, but I didn't really tell you guys exactly where to go to even find someone to even go on a date with in the first place. And to be honest with you, that is a pretty hard one to answer. I would say probably the best bet though is to join a Facebook group. Or actually out here, people aren't really heavy on Facebook groups the way that they are in other places. GroupMe is actually one of the best places to be able to meet people and go to different events and stuff like that. GroupMe and MeetMe, which are two different apps. Get on there, find some things that you like to do, go meet people. All right, let's go back to the tips. Whew. All right, I got some more tips to give you guys, but first I gotta get something to eat because I am starving. I'm just trying to survive, fighting for my life right now, people. So one thing that you're probably gonna hear a lot about if you're a guy trying to date in Washington, D.C. is you're gonna hear about the ratio. You know, like people usually say it's like one-sided, but it really is. Every time I go to any event and I try to go do anything, it's usually really lopsided as far as like how many men there are to how many women there are. I want to say, and I might be exaggerating, but it feels like for every one guy, there's like maybe like 5 or 6 women. Not an exaggeration to me, that's how it feels. And because of that, that kind of sways how, I'm not gonna say desperate people are, but because they know there's not as many options on their side, a lot of the women are kind of like, it's like they have a little bit lower standards. They're trying to at least just get chosen or at least be in the dating pool in the first place, because with guys having so many options ends up hurting, you know, women. I think the more even it is, the better it is for everybody all the way around. But out here in DC, I mean, really, it's way more women than there are guys. Right, it is like literally 98 degrees right now. I don't know how I'm making this video for you guys, but I'm making it happen. Okay, so not only is the ratio like drastically in favor of men where there's a lot of women everywhere, but the women that are around, they all seem to like have the same mindset where they really want to settle down. Like they have those mindsets where they're not afraid to say, hey, they need a man. And I'm not gonna say like need a man as in like, you know, they need him to survive, but they just need a man in their life. They're not afraid to say it. But the only problem with that is, man, I feel horrible saying this stuff, but it's the truth. Even though these women want to settle down, the majority of them have lived a life where they focused on their career and they got successful. They got to a point in their life where everything financially is good or stable for them, but it took time to get there. And since it took time, it's like a lot of them are like past their prime. You know, like they're kind of more on the downhill part of like, they're not gonna get you with like looks, put it that way. They're gonna have to really use personality to really shine that way to kind of catch your attention because, you know, I mean, they're getting a little older. And I hate saying it, but you know, time is usually not on a woman's side as far as like attractiveness and catch your eyes physically. But you know what? Don't feel bad because they know this. I mean, I think that's why, you know, with women, they're in a harder situation as far as like trying to balance, you know, trying to be successful and having a career for themselves, but at the same time doing it in a certain amount of time so where they can still have kids safely and, you know, be able to also still be young enough to enjoy their youth. So that's kind of like pretty much what the dating pool is out here. It's wildly in favor of men. And, you know, if you're any guy who has something going for themselves, I'm not even gonna say about like looking good. If you just like got your stuff together and you live out here in Washington DC, you're single, you like women and all that stuff, like they're gonna be on you, and you gotta have your mental fortitude on strong when you're a man out here, because it's easily to feel like you got it going on just because the ratio is like skewed. All right, y'all, I did not get a chance to wrap up the video. I have more things to add as far as like if you guys need more tips about what it's like dating here in Washington DC. I just had some other things pop up that I had to go take care of right now. But with the tips that I gave you, it should at least get you started. I'll be making I'll probably be making a part 2 to this video later on. But until then, I'll see you guys later on in the next video and in the comments. And good luck out there dating if you decide to date in Washington DC. Peace.